Soon may the weatherman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Soon may the weatherman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the weatherman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Democrats are set to take control of the U.S. Senate, House, and the White House.
This will go down as one of the most progressive administrations in American history.
God willing, everything is on the table.
You now can pass things without a filibuster threat.
That's right.
Oh, you'll regret this, and you may regret it a lot sooner than you think.
You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
So we're TikTok stars now. I mean, this is a full variety program.
Right? I mean, it sounds like the folks were excited with Duncan singing, which I thought was angelic. I think is production quality that hampered, us appreciating his true voice. But I hope that redeems his gifts in everyone's eyes.
I'm really glad everyone else is in the same boat with me now with their vocal prowess out there for the world.
This is now a variety program, and we will sing, we will dance, we will entertain. Lord knows now that we don't have President Trump to entertain us. Somebody needs to do something.
Right. There's such a gap now in entertainment that folks will need in their lives. It's really something.
Oh man. So we got, look, we could bore everybody on the planet by talking about what we saw with the inauguration, the speech, and all the junk, and whatever.
I'd like to reiterate bore, because this was probably the most boring inauguration I've witnessed in my life. I mean,
boring.
I mean, Bill Clinton fell asleep. Did you see the video clips? The New York Post had it up there. Bill Clinton fell asleep.
I don't know if they could get any more 95-year-olds on the stage if they tried. I think the one thing, the takeaway that I had off the top was, boy, the boomers have had a good run, huh?
Right. They keep running the show. They got
a good run. I can't imagine American history or world history, really, that one generation has basically dominated governance for 40 years.
It's something. It's really incredible.
Oh man. Well, let's talk about a couple of things, Smug. Let's start with probably the most entertaining part of the last day of President Trump's tenure were the pardons.
Yeah, it was like the last day was just like the pardon contest, pardon stakes. Who's going to get one? Who's not going to get one?
And everybody talked, ad nauseum over the last month about what kind of crazy stuff that he would do. Would he try to proactively pardon himself and his families? And that didn't come to fruition. I'm not sure it's even possible, but it didn't come to fruition. There were a few outliers.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I'll say one thing, certainly, that won't get any coverage in the media or any attention. I haven't seen anyone else come to this conclusion, is Trump really just followed the convention that's been set for how presidential pardons work. He only pardoned people charged with crimes. It's not like he tried any of this Looney Tunes stuff that the liberal media was saying that, he's going to give himself a preemptive pardon. He's going to just hand out pardons like candy, and it's like get a jail free card. There are people even suggesting on Twitter that you can have a secret pardon, where they're like, the president doesn't have to publicly announce who he's giving a pardon to. I think even Lawrence O'Donnell pushed this fake news.
Yeah.
But folks, that's not the way things work. There's actually, Presidential Records Act that it has to be put in writing, publicly available who gets a pardon. So it's not like any big secret. We know exactly now who has gotten a pardon.
It's not exactly a surprise, right? That the MSNBC folks would want to carry on something from the Trump era into perpetuity.
Yeah, is there a secret pardon out there?
Right. Oh, SDNY. Remember back during the Mueller investigation and Russiagate, their escape hatch from lying to their audiences for 3 years about how Trump was going to get frog marched out of the Oval Office because he's Putin's puppet. They always said, "Oh well, the real case is at SDNY." Well, this is sort of like that, right? They can kind of say, there's these secret pardons that exist. And so anytime, they they mention Donald Trump, they can say that, any day now, here comes the criminal case, right?
Yeah, it's the kind of dumbassery that we've been living with forever, which was one thing about Biden's speech that I did find kind of amusing when he was talking about this sort of quest for truth, and we need this commitment to truth.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, man, where you been for the last 4 years?
Seriously.
I mean, not a lot of truth. I know that. But, the one thing everybody's talking about how Rudy was going to get one. He didn't get paid, right? He didn't get paid. So everybody's like, well, maybe he'll pardon him for unspecified crimes. Nope.
That's gotta be rough. That's gotta be rough.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing is, so like Rudy, to my knowledge, I mean, who knows what happens with Rudy on a daily basis, but Rudy has not been charged as of yet, has he?
Nothing. No, not even any crimes alleged. I think that the whole purpose of this was like this conception of a pardon that doesn't.
The preemptive strike pardon.
Yeah.
Here you go. Get out of jail free. I read this in Monopoly once. I think it would work in real life.
But if you think about it, like what libs were basically inventing in terms of what Trump was going to do with these pardons, is that he would actually be accusing his friends and family of crimes.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Be like, hey, I know nobody's alleged this, but like, Rudy, that one time when you took that money from that guy, that was totally fucked up, and here's a pardon for it. I mean, that's not happening, right? So anyway, let's take it out of fantasy world. This is not fantasy. The one I have two problems. Everybody expects me to say my problem is Steve Bannon. It's not my problem. Whatever he wants to do with Steve Bannon, whatever. My problem, Solomon Melgen. Is a name familiar to me because he Senate Democrats used his plane for years to transport Harry Reid to various super PAC events.
And he was transporting more than Harry Reid on that plane. Like I had heard a lot of stories.
Well,
many
people are saying, but for what we know is that this guy was a Democratic funder of super PACs but really lent his plane for the like carte blanche use of Senate Democrats for fundraisers for this deal. And then furthermore, he was implicated very specifically in all the allegations against Senator Bob Menendez that ultimately ended up going to trial in New Jersey, where I think they hung the jury, right? I think that's what happened in that case. Well, whatever the case, Menendez didn't go to the brig, but the other guy did. Solomon went to the brig.
I really thought we would get Menendez because that guy, I mean, he was red-handed. The guy was doing such shady things.
Totally. But he didn't get, anyway, this guy
got saved. He got saved, as you may recall. Menendez kind of got let, off the hook because of what happened with the Governor McDonald case in Virginia.
Oh, man, that's a deep cut. This takes me back.
Yeah, because that went to court. And eventually he won on the kind of the definition of what is quid pro quo.
That's right. And now I remember that.
And that's how Menendez ended up getting out from under it.
That's a good education, folks. Who for the youngsters out there, that that's some good history. That was some fun stuff. Fun times to live in. It was amazing when that happened. I was absolutely stunned that's how it worked out. I had totally forgotten that's what it was.
Totally. But somehow this guy anyway got on Trump's radar and got pardoned. I don't know.
I don't get it. I don't get how this guy got it of all the folks.
The only other one I had a huge problem with was Kwame Kilpatrick, which a regular listener of the program this morning tweeted at me to remind me about how terrible this guy was. And he was basically a gangster in the mayor's office of Detroit, where the crimes that they convicted him of were all financial in nature and terrible, but there was all kinds of allegations of murder for hire and that kind of thing that didn't ultimately pan out in convictions. But like, suffice it to say, this guy's a bad dude. I noticed on, there was a little note on each one of them,
like who supports this and such.
Yeah, I noticed that one, Diamond and Silk.
Amazing.
Yeah,
solid advice for those.
Yeah, because what I'm thinking about my pardons. Why not?
Yeah, see, I knew nothing about him until I saw, minions on Twitter responding to you being like, this guy is he's a rat. This is an awful dude. Totally. So, I don't know how the reasoning for any of that works out. Is there anyone on any of the pardons that was the speculation of who's getting a pardon that didn't, that you think should have gotten one? Or
no, well, no, but I mean, there was a lot of speculation about whether he would pardon people who were accused of crimes that attended his rally and ultimately showed up in the Capitol. Cause I think there's been like 250 or some odd arrests, right? But like not a name on that one. We didn't, no pardons involved in the Capitol storming, which from my perspective is probably a good thing. There's probably some disappointed folks out there, not just for that.
Yeah, Wolf Viking, what's his name? The shaman, the QAnon shaman, Wolf Viking. He didn't get that pardon. I wonder who's over.
He's facing the maximum justice here, right? The Wolf Viking.
He's been charged with some very serious stuff. Like that guy is donezo. The like militant vegan or whatever, the one who had a
militant climate change vegan QAnon supporter. Right. So he's got a regular mental health update. But I think that the charges that he's been presented are very serious. And here's the thing. This is my point of view. If for some reason he gets convicted and, they throw the book at this guy, I think they ought to taxidermy this guy. I think he'd be a nice addition to the Senate chamber and just kind of putting him up above the president's chair. Like just the waist up Wolf Viking presiding, and just as a reminder to people that like, you don't be careful what you do around here.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would, I would love to have a Wolf Viking pelt, could make a nice throw. Very useful, multi-purpose Wolf Viking throw. So what do we have on the show today?
Well, obviously big presidential news.
Yeah.
But perhaps not what you're thinking. The one that we're focused on is there's going to have to be a presidential library here.
That's right. And today, the President Donald J. Trump Presidential Library's website launched.
Exactly.
That's the biggest presidential news of the day, in my opinion, hands down.
So if you're a Trump fan, one of the reasons you're a big fan is because everything that he does is just sort of over the top, right? All the way back from the 80s to today. You look at his apartment, it's gold from the floor to the ceiling. Can you imagine what this beauty is going to be looking like?
Yeah. I mean, so I've had a lot of ideas about the presidential library. Initially, I thought the best idea is you have the President Donald J. Trump Presidential Library Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. I was like, this would be a banger. I would go as soon as possible to get myself a hotel room, play the craps table, check out all the artifacts he's got in his library.
It's like on the side of the Taj, or do we need to?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like a return to glory. He's restoring Atlantic City. He did it before. He's going to do it again the same way he restored America. Going to make Atlantic City great again.
But there are other ideas. And one of the things that we were kicking around when we were talking about what we were going to do today was opening it up to the minions, because I know people have some great ideas on where they should open this sucker.
Yeah, because it has, I checked out the website. It hasn't been announced the location yet, folks. We need your input.
And one of the ideas was somebody just put it right next to Obama's in Chicago.
That would be the best. Honestly, that would be the best. If he put it right next to Obama's in Chicago, made it like twice as big, twice as tall, and just have his presidential library cast a shadow over Obama's presidential library, the same way his presidency cast a shadow over Obama's failed presidency, I would fully support that. That would be brilliant.
I can only imagine the accoutrements that you would add to a structure like.
I mean, he's got a gold plate, top to bottom, interior and exterior. just stunt on the Obama library as hard as possible.
The outrage would be
like you can see it from space. It should be that bright and golden.
You definitely have a lot of lights and like blinking, and
the thing is, he can afford it. That's the brilliance of it, like. The Obama library, to my knowledge, construction and everything has been held up. I mean, the guy's been out of office for like 5 years now, almost.
I know.
The holdup from, I don't know if it's donors or it's because liberals aren't good at getting anything accomplished or what, but I bet, and that's the other thing is, President Trump is a builder. That's, first and foremost, of course he's a president, of course he's an entertainer, But first and foremost, the man's a builder. So this is going to be like, one of the modern wonders of the world, what he comes up with.
Right?
I mean, the possibilities are endless.
Open it up, minions. Let's flood the rink and try to figure out what the ideas are, because we'll pass them along. We'll pass.
Yeah. That's one thing I gotta say is I really think, President Trump, if you're listening, we should reach out to his folks. I think he would be like the ideal guest on Ruthless. Like, I don't even want to talk about politics. Like you mentioned, like the incredible life that he's led. Like my first question would be like, what was life like in New York City as a billionaire single in the 80s? Like that's the story everybody would want to hear.
That's number one.
I think what we got to do there though, guys, is look, I think Mr. Trump would appreciate using our leverage, and that is, we have a Twitter account and he doesn't.
That's a great point.
And
President Trump, if you come on here, I won't say it publicly because Jack would then shut our down, shut Ruthless Pod on Twitter down, but
we'll give him one.
Tweet what you want.
We'll give him one. We'll give him one. We'll give him that uncut. We'll give him that uncut.
I'll tell you what, he comes on the show. I'll hand him my phone.
Yeah.
Fire away. That's the deal. It's a good deal.
Oh yeah.
All right. So anyway, we'll follow up. We'll have Moderate Jeff follow up with you. Let's talk about something you got lined up for us here, Duncan, because I know that we've one of the things that has stood out today is just the journo. Oh God. I mean,
can we say circle jerk on the show? Because that is really what it is.
Exactly what I wanted to say. It was a circle jerk.
I'm so happy for this segment. And first of all, our producer, Moderate Jeff, you could go ahead and just cue the the game show music right now, please. Thank you.
Well, that's so tasteful.
And we're back. We're back.
That's so tasteful.
So this segment that we have, folks, is Find the Democrat. And I'm going to read 4 tweets to Smug and to Holmes here. 3 of which are from journalists, and 1 is from a Democrat operative. And they have to determine who is the operative.
I love this game.
Look at that. See, like you said, this is a variety show, folks.
This is great.
This is the game show segment. I'm excited.
This is like the political version of Sabado Gigante. You got the fancy girl.
Yes.
We got everything.
Yes.
We got it all. Okay.
I'll tell you what, this is going to be, I'm already going to guess, this is going to be more difficult than Final Jeopardy. Because, I mean, it's
tough.
Just telling a difference between a journalist and a Dem operative these days is pretty much impossible.
So again, we're trying to determine who is the Democratic operative from these 4 tweets. I'm going to read them now. Okay, so tweet number 1. Just walking the dog and finding myself in tears. Relief? Patriotism? That ceremony restored something inside.
Here's the thing is, I don't know if we can say this on show. Moderate Jeff, edit this out. If not, there's a vernacular for walking the dog, and I was like, this is very appropriate. It could be a journo. That's my thought process between why that could be a journo.
Well, let's look.
Let's hear them all. Let's hear them all.
Smug, you don't want to just give away your opinion here because
is it a contest? It's me and Holmes.
It's a contest.
Shit.
Right.
Okay.
You are in competition.
I'm giving away the psychology behind
Yeah,
this,
don't.
man.
We are competing, and I'm taking notes on what you just said.
Yeah. I'm going to start writing these thoughts down.
Tweet number 2 here. Biden reclaiming what's best in American history, our better story, which is all the more powerful after what we just went through.
Jesus.
Okay.
Tweet number 3. Hillary Clinton's pantsuits were meaningful.
Get it out.
This is a real tweet. All these are real.
I can't. These are real, and
these are real.
It's crushing my soul. It's crushing my soul that this exists and was on the internet. Hold on. Let me start that one over. This is tweet number 3. God, I'd be so fucking embarrassed.
I want to clarify the rules. So these are only journalists or dem operatives. These aren't like the
Correct.
Looney Tune reply people.
Nope.
Wow.
Okay, tweet number 3. Hillary Clinton's pantsuits were meaningful, and so too is Kamala Harris's decision to wear a dress, as she is the first woman to be sworn in to the vice presidency.
Oh my God.
As tweet number 3. Let me get through tweet number 4 here. Joe and Bo used to watch an eagle soar by the dock. Now, when Biden steps to a lectern, he will be greeted by a presidential seal. It features, as its most prominent symbol, a bald eagle, a reminder both of what he has accomplished and what he has lost.
Okay, so to recall, we've got 3 journos and 1 dem operative, or we have
one dem operative.
There's only 1 dem operative among them?
There is only one dem operative out of those 4 tweets.
I'm not kidding, folks. This could be 4 dem operatives. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, and look. If you want me to read one of these, by all means.
No,
okay, I'm not going to give it away because this is a contest. I know for a fact one is a journo because I saw that tweet and was just absolutely disgusted.
So he's giving me advantage. I hadn't seen that, so I'm going to put one as my journo. Remember, it's a competition.
It's a competition. I won't.
Okay,
say
so
why
how about this?
Why don't we just say?
How about you raise your, just for the folks at home here, we're on Zoom, so I can see Holmes and I can see Smug. Why don't you raise a number of fingers and you tell me which tweet?
Wait, before that,
I'm operative.
Why don't we raise the stakes? I'll put a bottle of bourbon on this one that I can get it and Holmes can't.
Okay, all right.
Friendly handshake, folks.
Friendly handshake. Okay. Bottle of bourbon. I know you turn around for a second, Smug. Turn around.
Okay.
That's what I'm going for the dem operative.
Okay.
Okay.
Holmes has submitted his answer.
Okay. So only one is a dem operative.
Only one is a dem operative.
Boy, that's tough. Since Holmes has already submitted his, here's my thinking. This is like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I'm going to talk this answer out. So I'd see number 4, the bow hunter seeing an eagle, ridiculousness. Okay. I know that's a journo. I'm thinking 1, walking dog, and 3, the Hillary pantsuit Kamala dress are so ridiculous that it has to be a dem operative because any journal has to have a shred more integrity than that kind of madness. My guess is number 3, Hillary pantsuit Kamala dress is the operative.
Pantsuit. He says the pantsuit. What's the answer?
Wow. The answer is number 2. Josh Holmes is correct.
Really?
The pantsuit
bottle of bourbon for Mr. Holmes. No kidding.
Yeah, the pantsuit.
That is absurd. My 2 that I was choosing between that have to be an operative journos. Unbelievable.
So
it's just so perfect. It's just so perfect. You can see all of these ridiculously insane. I mean,
that hurts. Hey, you know what? Let's name and shame. Number 1, the walking dog. Who was that?
Who was it?
So walking dog was Andrew Sullivan. You may know him from, he was at New Republic.
Wow.
Now he's got his own Substack, but
wow. I thought he'd been red pilled, but he's pushing this kind of garbage. That's sad.
Who was 3? Who was the pantsuit?
Oh, man. So number 3 was Jennifer Epstein from Bloomberg.
Really?
Yeah.
Bloomberg, right? She's a Bloomberg?
She deleted it.
Then it doesn't count, dude. Then it doesn't count.
No.
Technicality.
Here's the problem. I had to find some that were deleted because we're all terminally online, and it was the only way to find something you hadn't already seen.
Oh, I accept defeat. You know, there won't be any insurrection here. I'm sending a bottle of bourbon your way.
So just for the record, number 2, which Holmes properly identified.
That's amazing.
That was Ben Rhodes.
Wow.
From
Our Better Story.
Scum of the earth. Let me tell you.
And also underpinning one of the very consistent themes of Ruthless, that all Dems view the White House as an episode of West Wing.
That is it, dude.
That's right.
And he embodies that completely.
That's why I came to that one, because I was like, look, these guys are all one Aaron Sorkin theatrical play after another.
You nailed it. I like the psychology behind that. And I have to say, speaking of Ben Rhodes, one of the happiest moments of my life, if the person responsible for this is listening, God bless you and thank you. That like supercut of Ben Rhodes on election night 2016 when Trump won, and Ben Rhodes is just like, he has to sit down outside and he like collapses into like tears. I think he started crying, and someone puts "Hello Darkness" music right behind it. Like that video gives me life. Every time I see it, it adds like a year to my life.
It really is. It really is.
So speaking of another video here, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna play a super cut that Free Beacon put.
Oh wait, do we say who number 3, the Hillary pantsuit Kamala dress?
Yeah, that was Jennifer Epstein.
No, that was Jen Epstein and
so number 4,
Bo Hunter.
Yeah. So number 4 was Matt Visor.
Oh God,
national political.
That's right.
Washington Post.
All right, so Moderate Jeff, you got to play this video.
Moderate Jeff. Let's go ahead and let's cue up the Free Beacon supercut.
The chaotic and crisis-ridden last year.
Palpable lies.
Disgraced 45th president of the United States.
Ugliness.
Is repulsive words.
Like a small man.
Welcome, Joe Biden.
Absolutely astonishing.
Modest.
Successful Joe Biden.
Austere.
Pure Joe Biden.
Vintage Joe Biden.
Brave.
Irish stubborn is Joe Biden.
That's our press, folks. That is the reception today, in the same day of the outgoing and incoming president of the United States.
Yeah, I mean that it's so obvious. You know, when they discuss Trump, it's like, oh God, I'm so scandalized. And as soon as Biden is mentioned, the man hasn't accomplished a single thing in office. He didn't accomplish a single thing as vice president. But the effusive praise has begun. The healing of the country. Yeah, all we've been hearing over the past month is, so how are we going to set up the re-education camps? I think it was a Washington Post reporter who said we need to cleanse Trumpification from the GOP, and day one is just like all praise. Like, at what point is journalism correctly identified as propaganda?
I got to tell you, dude, I run so hot on this.
Yeah.
I get such a high RPM going internally that I'm like, you know what? It's inauguration day. I'm going to turn it off, and I'm just going to try to power through this under my own sort of volition. And I will revisit it next week. I'm going to hold my take. I can't.
I mean, it's just, it's beyond frustration, because I think it's definitely harmful. It's harmful to the country. I think the institution of journalism, I hope it isn't, but I truly feel like it's beyond repair what has happened to journalism, where like there was this, I think it was with Carlos Lozada, I believe, who's the book critic at the Washington Post, had this photo today of him standing at, we're talking like a sizable like dining room table that's just like covered in multiple layers with books. He's like, these are all the Trump books. Books about Trump over the past 4 years that, I read and I'll never have to open again. And the amount of money these journos made off of writing their books, like the reason, like they don't believe in anything. These people are like nihilists. They believe in trying to make money. And so they know if they jump up at a press conference and shout questions at President Trump, they're like, okay, that'll get me a book deal. Like, why do you think Acosta acted like he acted, other than he's a jerk? Because he wanted to make money. He built up his profile, and every other journo, they see, hey, if I just start putting out these like left-wing takes and I start making this about me and not about what I'm supposed to cover and turn this into a spectacle, I can get attention, I can get a book deal, and I can make a career out of this. It's a double-sided sword.
It's the tweets that I read show that, right? The tweets that I read show that the people who spent the last 4 years, trying to get attention for book deals are now fighting for their place in the sun, and they have to embarrass themselves by writing these obsequious tweets about Joe Biden, right? I mean, basically, that's all they have now, and it's not going to be the same market where you can put Trump in every headline and get 1 million clicks to your article. And so they're all fighting with each other to see who can be the most
over the top.
They built their audience. I mean, that their audience is entirely this sort of craven left-wing audience, but I think that remains to be seen whether they're motivated at all by liberal governance. I mean, they're certainly motivated by anti-Trump, anti-Republican, anti-all of us rhetoric, but I don't see any evidence at this point that they're interested in government. I mean,
no, not at all. And the thing is that the further proof that they have zero interest in actually doing their job and covering government and how it works and what it actually means for people is all these ridiculous errors that you see out there. You know, like this whole idea of like a secret pardon.
Yeah.
Which journalists had jumped on, which like O'Donnell has a show on MSNBC and he didn't understand the basic, fact that there's the, Presidential Records Act. He didn't know that.
No. And we had to explain to the Ruthless audience because basically all of cable news and newspapers, nobody even came across the fact that if you pardon somebody, they lose their Fifth Amendment rights. And so if you're actually concerned about guilt or innocence of somebody close to you or implicating yourself, you would never pardon them because at that point they're an open book. They have to tell the authorities everything that you've done.
Like literally 50% of Trump coverage over the past week has been, will he preemptive strike himself a pardon? It shows this is all about getting clicks and salacious made up garbage just to get attention. It's shameful.
I agree. Fellas, I got to tell you, starting with the sea shanty and rolling through this stuff, I didn't think I could be in a good mood after everything that I've watched.
Right? I feel great now.
But I'm feeling like it's coming back. We're going to put this sucker together and just start steamrolling. We're the new pirates. We're the captain now.
Yeah. That's why I want to let everyone know out there, don't be sad. Today is not a sad day. Today is a day about, steel your resolve. Today is day one of the resistance, and Ruthless is going to be here for you. We're going to give you the real news, not the fake news, and we're going to make it entertaining. And you know what, folks? We're going to be fighting. We're not going to surrender. We're not going to, oh God, what are we going to do now? No. Now is the time to fight. Now is the time to resist.
Let's get at it. Let's sign us out of here, Smug.
Well, that was a fantastic episode, gentlemen. I hope everyone out there enjoyed. So, until next time, minions, keep the faith, hold the line, and own the libs. We'll see you next week. Stay ruthless.